Good evening and welcome. My name is Dermot Nestor. I'm the Executive Dean for the Faculty of Theology and Philosophy here at ACU, based at the North Sydney campus. Glorious sunshine flooding in through the window this afternoon. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we live and work, and also to acknowledge your presence here this afternoon to participate in the webinar, which discusses the opportunities available through postgraduate study in the Faculty of Theology and Philosophy. And thank you, Carl, my colleague, who is driving the slideshow on my behalf this afternoon, but clearly I am incapable of multitasking at that level. You can kick it on, Carl, past that introductory slide. And there we go. So this key slide just, I think, captures two words that encapsulate our ambition, our intent, and indeed our motivation for the programs that we offer. They are about formation and transformation. Some of the key bullet points down on the right-hand side. Look, they're really not just solid and substantive statements, they're entirely truthful about how we conceive the curriculum that we ask students to engage with. And in that engagement itself, students become creators of curriculum for themselves and for others. The key objective we have is to scaffold those skills to be able to think theologically, and with that to develop biblical and theological literacy. And as the other bullet points show, these skill sets are of distinct and high value across a range of professions which you're either in or aspiring to be in. And those slides have gone a little bit too far ahead there, Carl. Let's take it back up to the second. Carl's going to take it from the beginning. We go past that. And the next one again, Carl, please. I like this slide because we recently conducted a very extensive evaluation and review of our religious education offerings, and indeed those in theology. And what we have here are some testimonials from participants in programs or those who sponsor students to participate in programs. Of course, as you can expect, they're all very affirming. How would I show you something that would be derogatory or dismissive of what we have done? No, not at all. I think we will be sharing these slides. The whole webinar is being recorded, so you can reflect on these a little bit later at your own leisure, or you might have a question you want to bring to bear on any aspect of the presentation. But there's some key, I think, language that emerged for us, and it relates around confidence, that participation in learning opportunities with the Faculty of Theology and Philosophy brings to those participants. That's confidence in capability in terms of translating their learning into their professional practice, not to feel they must resort to a known solution or one that's comfortable. And with all of that, a capacity to sit with the tough question and a skill set to bring others into that type of reflection and indeed the conversation that it stimulates. And as the bullet points on the side illustrate again, I point them out at the start, our real commitment to education and in all of those disciplinary areas is around collaboration. We do not advocate for or engage in that practice of the sage on the stage, where we are the ones with the knowledge, transmitting it to you who we assume to have none. That is not how it operates here. Our learning, and I do mean mine or my colleagues who are leading it on behalf of the faculty, is as much dependent on your participation as your learning outcomes are dependent on our input. You can flick it past that again, Carl, if you will, please. But this slide just provides an overview of some new programming that's emerged through the faculty and as a consequence of our partnership, originally with the Jesuit College of Spirituality in Melbourne, which is now dissolved, but more broadly with the Society of Jesus in Australia. So these are programs in supervision and spiritual direction. There's some fairly dense information there about the credit point weighting that makes up a graduate certificate program, a graduate diploma, or indeed a master's, of course, going from 40 to 120 credit points, meaning 4 units of study all the way to 12, with masters, of course, including a what TEXA requires is a substantive engagement research, so 30 credit points at least on research. There's a little icon at the bottom of that section on the slide about what's coming through. So we will be advertising an Ignatian Camino in around October of 2023. That's when it will run, and we should be advertising for that early in the new year, if not in advance. And also there'll be, I'll use the language of the sector, micro-credentials or micro-learning opportunities available, not just in these specific discipline areas of supervision or spiritual direction, or indeed spirituality more broadly, but across the full spectrum of the disciplines that we offer, so biblical studies, theology, liturgy, sacraments, and so on. You can move past that one, Carl, a little bit as well. And look, why study with us? And that's the million-dollar question. I think some of the infographics down on the left-hand side, my left-hand side as I'm looking at my screen, they speak to one thing: quality. We are ranked first in Australia in the key disciplines of religion and religious studies, equal first actually in philosophy as well, 26th in the globe in those discipline areas as well. That's all measured not just on the quality of our research outputs, but also the degree to which that research informs very high quality learning and teaching initiatives, which are, again, there for your benefit. The academic community that makes up the faculty is across all the campuses of ACU, up and down the Eastern Seaboard, and of course in through Victoria as well. And it does give you access to a network of internationally acclaimed academics. We also have partnerships with many of the leading universities, Catholic and non-Catholic, around the world. I love the fact that we can offer study abroad opportunities. Rome, of course, where we do have a campus, is a standout opportunity for many, many people. And back on the radar again is Israel. We used to run and continue to do pilgrimage opportunities or just study abroad opportunities. They've now been built out with the opportunity to engage firsthand in archaeology. Again, world-leading researchers. And I think this final point really has to be made, that the old mythology of the aloof professor, that doesn't exist here. All the academics who provide the research and then inform the learning and teaching, they're incredibly supportive of each other, I think, to begin with, and also of the students. And that leads to a very high quality, but very supportive and conducive learning environment, whether that's within the classroom physically or through any of these virtual means, such as we're joining or connecting through this evening. It's also a lot of fun. I think we really should not forget that. There's too much pressure applied or too much weighted narrative around rigor, which is appropriate, and alignment with need and objective, but it's got to be some fun in there as well. So I'm going to put that in, even though it's not scripted. You'll enjoy yourself here immensely with the people and the opportunities. So you can flick on again, Carl, please. This slide is a very simplistic one. I don't need to dwell on it too much. It does just list the range of postgraduate opportunities that we offer at graduate certificate level, graduate diploma, masters, and of course the higher degree by research opportunities, whether it's a Master's of Philosophy, PhD, or our new professional doctorate program, the Doctor of Ministry, which has taken a lot of interest. We've had 2 to 3 information sessions already, 30, 40 people participating in each, and we've had a strong volume of very clear and concise and rigorous applications already submitted. So I'm really looking forward to that program kicking off and seeing how the research and the appetite for research starts to transmit back into all of the courses that we offer, including the undergraduate opportunity. So Carl, you can move that again, if you will. This one, again, fairly straightforward. It just illustrates the various specializations, that's discipline specializations, that a participant can focus upon in any of the programs. They are duplicated or in triplicate, if you will, given there are 3 icons here. Ancient languages, it's my own area. Biblical studies, again, is my own area. Christian thought and tradition, liturgy, leadership for mission, mission and ministry, philosophy, spirituality, and so on. It's a very comprehensive range of opportunity to engage with not just the staff and the expertise, but the entire tradition of scholarship, which they themselves have been immersed in for many years, and which the door is really open for you to come in and join that conversation. So you can move that again, Carl, if you will, please. Yeah, I could make that line about, what do you ask somebody who has an arts or a theology degree? It's, can I have fries with that, etc. That's a deeply misplaced conception around the value of study in these discipline areas or the humanities more broadly. That list of roles that graduates from our courses have gone into or were already in and chose to do the study, that could extend on to 3 or 4 more slides. It's an incredibly wide array of roles and positions across a very wide variety of organizations, and increasingly the not-for-profit bracket. I love the stories that we've collated over the last 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, of our students, what they've gone on to do. But I think more importantly, when reading the story, is to understand their kind of motivation for engaging in the study to begin with. What kind of challenges were they wrestling with that they sought some kind of solution for through study with the faculty? Otherwise, just have a name and an outcome. The story but that connects them is always, for me, the far more interesting narrative. So when these are available, I'd encourage you to click on the highlighted names that bring you to that story, and just understand more about other people who've taken this path. And if you can flick it on there again, Carl, please. Oh, we're already at the questions. My goodness, how quick was that? And do we have any questions in the chat box, Carl? Or does anyone, if they have the ability to voice a question, or even a simple question that they might have and they want to put it through? There might be questions about enrollment processes. There might be questions about fees. I'm happy to just sit for a few moments and let people think if they have one. Well, I won't give it down to dead time on the transmission. I'll just look back to some of the slides. I think all of our fees are on the website. The email address that was quoted at the very end in the last slide, ftp.pg@acu.edu.au. Behind that email, there are people, Basilia, Vicky, Michelle, and they are happy to address any question that anyone might have about processes for enrollment, fees, specificity around course offerings. For example, I'm based in one location. Is it possible to do this course through one campus? Which of those courses or parts of them are available online? In fact, all of them. So it's very accessible learning opportunities.